very difficult surnames, so thanks Andrew to helping me to get here for this workshop and to present me. And I would like to thank you all for coming, because it's summer, it's of course it's Sunday, it's after our great and long after party yesterday, and it's great to see you. And I would like you to join others when you sit at the end. I would like to join others, because it will be sometimes for almost the whole workshop it will be the work group, and if you would like to join others, it would be great for me, of course, and for others. And I would like to say the first to start with the story, and it's the story about the beginning of creative problem solving, and it started at the 60s, 19th century. And let's imagine the North States of United States, a state that border on the Canada, and the winters are very severe, and sometimes there were problems with electricity, and the snow throw off the electric lines, and people were out of electricity. And thousands of people were without electricity. So the electricity company invited a facilitator. And this facilitator was Alex Osborne, and he is the father of creative problem solving. And they also invited a group of people from the company, from this electricity company, and they managed to prepare one precise question that it happened to this problem. And the question was, what can we do to not allow the snow to cut the lines off? And that was the idea that they had to solve, and that's why I would like to tell you the story. And it happened that according to the people that were on this group, it was a very shy person, and she was a cleaning lady. And because it's good to have not only specialists on this group, it's good to have also laymen, because the laymen have another point of view of the problem sometimes, and it's that she as a woman didn't know anything about the electricity. She was a cleaning lady, and she said one funny thing, I think. And others, of course, thought also that it would be great that angels would throw the snow off the electricity lines. And of course, no one took it seriously, but after all, it happened that someone would take the idea that it would be great if the angels would that the birds would replace the angels. And it happened that someone thought that the birds could be helicopters. And it happened during the lots of years that the helicopters threw the snow off the electricity lines. And that's the thing that we have to also think about, that we need to be relaxed, to have some great ideas, and it's good to not to think out of the borders, and to be also to have great fun of having creativity, having problems, having some problems, and it's good. The first problem I would like to you solve. It's problems. It's the technique of other sides, and the first technique I would like to give you it's one piece of paper, of course, for groups, and you will have 5 minutes to write down 20 problems for this question. What makes Toastmasters meeting predictable and monotonous? Because sometimes we have predictable and monotonous Toastmasters meeting, and they are dull and boring, and it would be good that we will think out of this.
We had the same agenda, or black and white agenda. So we thinking about the diverse agenda with different order on new elements and colorful.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the same agenda. All right. Functionaries do the same things. This is the monotonous.
The problem is
functions at the meetings, yeah?
Yeah.
Always the same thing.
Always the same thing. And
the solution.
Register laughs, laugh counter, for example. And using 3 laws of humor. For example, reminding on the beginning of the meeting that there are 3 things of the humor can we remember for the better speaking and better talking to people. Okay, and the third? What's fourth?
We have big solutions for each one.
Yeah, and the third? Functionaries use different tools, for example, flashing lights or instruments. Okay, thank you very much.
Success.
I think, do we want to join you, or do we or are you
Go
running
for
away?
it.
Okay, we have had basically the same idea about the agenda, so I'm skipping this one, changing the agenda.
Skipping the same.
It's a good idea. Inviting people from other clubs. This is something that's a way to bring fresh blood into your club. Other ways to have speeches and so on. This is always very useful when you have different persons who are not in the same sauce, let's say, of your own club, and this is combined with sending your members to visit other clubs to see how other clubs work, so that they gain and bring other ideas.
Ambassador.
Then the second thing we will choose would be a mentoring approach, which means that, in our opinion, meetings are monotonous when the most active people always act. Sometimes it happens, let's say you have 20 people in the club, but there are only 5 who always do something, and it is a 5-man show. So a mentoring approach would be to get the others also active, so that they are more or less forced to take part in the meeting, so that is there is more variety. And the last one is, don't be too stiff or too serious, which means that even if we have rules, which is a very good thing about Toastmasters, we have rules, we have agenda, we have time, and so on and so on. if somebody breaks it, if somebody goes out of the rules, don't bring him down, even more be flexible and encourage him to experience new ways or new things. So because this is a place where we can allow ourselves to fail and to be flexible. That's it.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Peter and I'm from Poznan, and I agree with the previous speakers. The main problem is the agenda. It's always the same, and in Poznan we have twice a year a meeting that is reverse. It means that the agenda goes from the ending to the beginning. Speakers first hear the evaluation and have to adapt their speeches to this evaluation.
Cool.
Second thing is a role meeting lottery. Before the meeting, no one knows what role will have to make or act during the meeting. So there's a jar or something with pieces of paper with the roles on them, and people just make a lottery. Okay, and the second thing, a ping pong meeting. Yeah, in Poland, after the wedding, there's a party, and if you want to dance with, I don't know, bride, you go to the pair and I want to dance this dance. Okay, so I want to dance now with this person, and we can do something like this during the meeting. For example, I'm a Toastmaster and someone will come to the stage and I want to dance this role. So yeah, that's the main ideas that we have.
Sorry, what's your name?
Change of the role.
Peter.
Change of the role. This is
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah, I want to dance this role.
Yeah, the problem was that the main master sometimes is, I don't know.
Let's prepare.
Yeah.
Predictable and monotonous.
And unexpectedly, he needs to follow the role that is given to him at this moment. I mean, during the evening.
So you
But
swap
it's
the
from
roles.
Poznan.
Yeah.
Mid-meeting, the roles are swapped,
Swap.
but like in advance, people know that that's going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's like in a wrestling fight.
Like
They
tag
can
team.
they can change.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And do you have anything else?
Set?
Yeah.
Positive or negative?
Only positives.
Only positives. Okay.
Someone would like to share?
Okay, we can come.
Yeah. Anastasia? Anastasia from?
Whoosh.
Toastmasters Wooch.
Yay.
Ooh. So positive part, right? We said the first one. So first of all, let me see. To not repeat.
Yeah.
Well, about the creativity, I think everyone said, but we are talking about the room, because everyone talked about the structure. Yes, when you do from the end and the beginning, it was very good. I like it. But about the redecorate, let's say rearrange the room, also it means a lot. When it's every time the same tables, you find also it boring, and when it changes, very good. Actually, it's interesting. And for example, like Federico mentioned, use the Planck meeting. Like we had the example today on workshops. It's also good. So just be creative in the meeting, not only the structure. The Planck meeting.
Plank meeting.
Planck meeting. We'll show
Planck
you.
I was asleep in the
Planck
morning.
meeting.
Plank.
Just do a plan, the whole meeting. Plan.
I will not show you the Planck meeting. This.
Well, please.
Who's got this? Yes.
Plank.
Planck meeting. Planka.
Plaka.
Planka. Yes. So we have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I have no clue what you're talking about.
maybe you can talk about yours. This one.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Yeah. The thing is that also there are many disciplines when it comes to public speaking, right? So we have many examples to learn from. For example, stand-up comedians, actors, singers. They all have a certain skill set that we can all learn from. So organize workshops regularly, inviting these people, it can add a lot. For example, if you take a TTM role or a Toastmasters role, it's important to be funny, to engage the audience. And if you cannot do that, the whole meeting is going to be boring. It doesn't matter what kind of agenda you have, what kind of roles you assign. If you cannot give energy to the people, it's going to be boring eventually. So what is most important, in my opinion, to actually develop the people and people's skills within the club.
Yes. And also one more important thing I'd like to say, remember about the diversity. Because we should remember, someone goes to Polish Toastmaster, even though they can be from different countries. We are going to English Toastmaster, and from different countries, people, it's also very important diversity. About the topics, about everything basically, because Toastmaster is international. This is a very important thing. And also the KISS rule. I think maybe you have heard it, keep it simple and short. So when the Toastmasters or TTM, they start to talk really long, explain, like, this is my team, blah, 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 it becomes really boring. So keep it simple and short, and it will be much funny and easier. Would you like to add something?
How many do you have?
They're creative.
Yeah.
We need to be more flexible during the meetings, because sometimes when we are related, come back to the agendas, it can be too boring for most of us. And we need to think in a different way, or at least once a month try that experiment, to be flexible and not think so much as Germans.
Yes, feel the audience, because of course we have a structure, we prepare something, but we never know who will come. Yeah, what age, what country, so you should feel the audience. That's very important aspect, I think. And also
one more thing to add to the diversity, because Toastmasters is a very conservative organization. So that means that the same kind of topics and the same kind of safe topics emerge during the meetings. So I think it's important to be controversial sometimes, because if you are always in the safe zone and you try to keep the status quo, then it's just gonna be boring. So just to be controversial, bring topics that people think about, make people angry. I'm not sure how flexible we can be within Toastmasters, but it's just what keeps people and the vibe alive.
yes, and the last point, what everyone mentioned about the humor, it's important, but also be friendly, because new people who are coming, sometimes, of course, they're coming, they're looking for somewhere to actualize themselves. Someone doesn't want to show off, but they would like to feel noticed. So it's very important to be friendly and somehow try to engage them, but again, feel them, because someone doesn't like when you force them to come on a stage. So be friendly and engage new people if you see or feel that they are willing to. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And the last group, would you like to say something else? Do you have something else? You are?
Barbara?
Roy.
Roy. From?
Which leadership club?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I'd say is recommend guests to other clubs. For example, if their English isn't great, recommend the Polish club. Recommend the other English club, because some people, the day might suit them, or the people, the atmosphere, and they might never join in your group.
We also thought about publishing the theme of the meeting much more in advance, a few weeks in advance, so then not only the question of the day and table topics can suit the theme, but also speakers can adjust their speeches, either to treat this theme as an anchor, to give them an ideas for their topics, or at least to implement some part of it and make it a little bit more interesting and consistent.
One of the things, and it's feedback I'm getting from a lot of people, especially new guests, is about clapping. So it's like we start the meeting with a quick clap. that could be the timer just giving a ding so we kind of know. But like the question of the day, do we have to clap after every person? Can we just wait? When we've got the functionaries, could they not just come up once and we have the three introduced and then we give one clap? Then people won't think we're a clapping society.
And the last idea that is not said yet is to plan more creative table topics. And what we quite often do in our club is that it's not only a list of questions, but we introduce some games, like we had taboo game or story cubes or some cards you just randomly pick up and you have to adjust your speech to that. And we found it more interesting and creative than the standard questions. That's it.
Okay.
More clapping.
Yeah, of course, more clapping. Well, the second technique. Well, firstly, I would like you to think what are the other solution problems, places when you can use this technique, and any ideas where you can use this technique? What other problems that you can use this other side technique?
I'm sorry again.
Do you have any other ideas when you can use this technique? The other side technique?
You
mean
like
the
work?
Yeah.
Outside the club.
Outside the club, of course, in your daily life.
After parties.
But not only in Toastmasters. Any ideas? You have in your brain any other ideas that you can use?
For example, if you're really bored at work, then you can have a list. Sorry, you can have a list of all the things that you don't like about your work, and then find the positives.
Great.
You can use it in your relationship, for example.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good ideas, I think. And then I would like you to show another technique, and it's acronym. It's called Scamper. It's commonly known technique, I think. It means that you should. It happens often when you think about products and you are product manager, and you should think about any other kind of product. And it's a good idea to have something else from something that is commonly known. And it's Scamper because S is to substitute something with something, C is combine something with something, A is adapt, what can I copy from the first product to another product, M is modify, what can we change, and one element that we can change, P is put to other uses, for example, what can we, when can we have this product for another usage. E is eliminate, what can we have eliminate, for example, instant soup without water, it can be. And R is reverse, it's another way, opposite side. And because it's about products, mainly because about products, I thought about our badges, because they sometimes are not attractive, they are boring, they are all the same, and I thought that it would be a good idea for you to think about how to change the club badges. In another, of course, they should have Toastmaster label and the surname and name, but of course you can add, you can something eliminate, or of course you can put the name or something from this label to another use. Of course you can modify, I think, this badge. Of course you can reverse, and of course you can substitute something with something from another product. And I think that it would be a good idea for you to work also with groups and to think about how you can one way, not only of course all the letters, but only to think to choose one letter and to think how you can change the badge from the club. And yeah, it would be good idea if you will think about it maybe for 3 minutes if you can. Yeah, I know it.
You mean these badges?
Yeah, no, club badges, of course. Club badges with names and surnames. You can change it using one of the letter and tell us how you can change, how your club can change the badge.
Okay, let's start with something on the top. What can we use badges to? In what ways? Okay, so the first good idea that we had is to throw the badges. So let's say a speaker misbehaves, or he's boring, or he's exceeding the time, just throw the badge and he will go down the stage. Second idea is to pass on the speaker badge. Instead of handshake, just, okay, you're a speaker, here is the badge that allows you to speak. Third idea, wave the badge instead of clapping. Okay. You get, at the beginning of the meeting, you get 3 badges with the names of the speakers, and this is the place where you write the feedback for them on the other side of the badge. Also, you play guess whose badge I have on my back game.
Whoa.
Okay, and also you have a table topics, so there's a bowl with all the badges, you put all the badges in, and you draw the volunteers for table topics with it. That's it.
Any other ideas? No. Any other idea? One.
Okay, we have different badges, but usually there is information about name, surname, name of the club, CC, CL, ABC, Y2Z, Y2Z and everything. And an idea is, what is the purpose of a badge? The purpose is that a person who is new at the club or a guest knows who he or she is speaking to. So that she is not embarrassed like, okay, I have just met 15 people and I don't remember any name. Oh, you're Franciszek. Nice to meet you. I remember the name, of course I didn't need your badge. But the main purpose is to see the name of the person. So I would eliminate everything that is disturbing. You don't need to know if it is an CC, CL or whatever. You don't need to know the name of the club because you are at the club. So just stay with the simple information. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And the last technique that I would like to tell you, but maybe not you will work about it. Yeah.
Anastasia wanted to say this one.
Okay, the guy that was speaking, sorry, what was your name?
Grzegorz.
Yes, okay. A very nice one. I just want to say that we don't have name tags, but but it could be also very good at only name, but the colors of the badges can be different, and you can change a team. People could have a teamwork, let's say. So if you have a name, let's say, and different colors of the badges, it would be good then to switch and split them by teams.
For what purpose?
It depends on if you do workshop, let's say, table topic.
Yeah, but for example, on the
Okay.
meeting, like a regular one,
But
it was just okay.
okay. I was thinking of a regular meeting.
Okay, we're thinking about creative meeting outside of box.
But this color could indicate I don't know, how long a person is in the club. And it could be useful for example, for new members to see them, for the older members of the team, and to help them that they need more support. And for somebody who was absent last time, who knew that this person is completely new, or
so colors are our
experience.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you are a new
work
one,
for the people who work with badges, because you have to keep track of all the members.
But I think just colors, different colors, and just name it will be that much work. But very clean.
We in Toastmasters Poznań had the idea to give give guests orange colored badges, so we can know that this person is the first time guest. And the last technique that I would like to tell you is the technique about forced connection. And yeah, I can see it. And it's a technique when you have you should only have a book, I think. And I know that it would be a great idea to commonly open the book and to choose the first word from the page, and to write it down. Of course, this word, and the first noun. I think it would be the best idea, and of course. Write this noun down, and to write down 20 ideas that are connected with this word. If you have a problem, then of course headline this problem, and with help of these words connected with this one word, you can sometimes take an opportunity to have this problem solved. And of course, it's the third last one technique. And at the end, I would like you to think about daily situations that you can use this technique. Of course, you can use this technique in your common daily life. And it's not the best ideas come unexpected when you are relaxed, when you aren't overworked. And one psychologist from Poland said that the best ideas are connected with water. Sometimes it's a good idea to take a shower when you have a problem, and during the showering, this problem you can solve. And I could tell you only about one book that I've heard about it in English. It's called Imagine by Lehrer, and I've heard that this book is a great source of how to solve lots of problems, and it's connected with creativity. And last of all, I would like to say thank you to all for coming, and have a good day, and have a good your trip to your.
Thank you.